So with Macca's car on the weekend in race 2, he got involved in an accident down the hairpin. One of the things that he said on the radio when the car was in the wall was the throttles jammed open and it turned the engine off and then it wouldn't restart. So I thought it was a good opportunity to explain a bit of that. Interestingly, he said the other two cars, when he got out, he could hear them on the rev limiter as well. So let me explain to you how that happens, because nowadays we don't run a cable between the throttle body and the throttle pedal. What we do is it's all electronic and it's done with sensors. So I'll take you over and explain to you how this works in a minute, but the throttle body's a forward component, and you can see it has a wire that runs in it which sends a message. When he gets on the throttle, it sends a message into here, and this opens the butterfly up and then allows the air to come in through the airbox, and then regulates this one sensor here, regulates how much fuel is going in, and that's what makes the engine run. So what happened with Macaulay's car is when he got a hit at the front, it bent the rail, and because this is also rigid, you feel how stiff that, even though that compresses, you can feel here it's quite stiff. So once it takes a hit and it moves all this across, it uncouples all this and then it lets the air rush in. When the air rushes in and doesn't go through the restrictor, this sensor here starts pouring fuel into the engine, so it gives you the feeling that the throttle's jammed open. I'm not sure that's 100%, but it certainly gives it an increase, and that's why he's turning the engine off. So one of the tasks we've got at the moment is to try and understand how we make all this a little more compliant, so if it takes a hit at the front, it doesn't give you the feeling the throttle's jammed open. The other thing you could do, obviously, is once you understand that, you just drive it back to the pits with the throttle revving pretty hard. So if we come over here, we can have a look at some of the componentry. Now the throttle body, what happened with that was we have this has all been machined up by KRE, so we have this spacer that bolts on here, and then the throttle body bolts to that. Because this is a plastic component and it's a standard component, then we deal with standard stuff. So back in the day we used to make aluminium inlet trumpets, and it was quite an expensive way of doing it. These little brass parts are pushed in and they retain, they hold the bolt in, so they go in the front here as well. Now you can see this one has none because we've taken them out. This is a spare, but it's a bit of a problem. Ken's going to look at put a retaining clamp at the back of these for next year so they bolt right through. But right now, and what happened with this car was it took a hit, opened that up. When it opened that up, it allowed more air in because it wasn't going through the restrictor that's bolted on the front of this whole system, and then made the engine rev. So it's a bit of an unusual problem, but it's something that we're going to be working through in the future to try and mount this a little softer and make it so when he does have an accident, or anyone does have an accident, you can get the car back to the pits.